Hello teachers, in this video, I will show you more about loading or editing grading sheet. I will discuss the function of creating additional grading templates. This is useful when you have an additional teaching loads other than your advisory class. This also includes the functions and feature of importing and exporting grades among colleagues. Lastly, I will show you the usage of the small icons or button toolbars in the grading sheet templates. Let's begin. In this procedure, I have here a database which is already loaded with all subjects from 1st to 4th quarter. As you can see in the display, I am navigating the buttons to show you its function. This is an example on how to create a single grading sheet compared to the button Create All Subjects. Click on Sheet and Controls tab menu and point and select Create New Record. A dialog box will show up. Select the first drop-down arrow button and choose the desired subject title. In this example, I selected Mathematics. The second drop-down arrow button is an optional list of subject branch titles. No need to select this at all. The third selection is Section Names List. Since we have already created class list names database, then the list should populate with all the sections names in the display of selecting options. Meaning, if you created a database for 3 sections, then all 3 section names will appear in this area. Finally, the last important selection is the period or quarter. Take note, you cannot proceed if the required field is not selected, excluding the second optional drop-down arrow button. Let's close this dialog and show what I meant. First, we need to establish what records we want to create. Second, if such record exists with the same subject and section name under the same period, then such record will be replaced by this new data. However, if this record does not exist, say for example, the first grading period is where you want to create a new one, this record will be stored as a new file, and this goes on and so forth as you repeat the procedures for the next quarter or grading period. Commonly, instead of creating a new one in the next quarter thereafter, the save method is more convenient for transferring from one quarter period to another. Also, this would give you a reference value already in place while editing the records in the succeeding grading quarters. Let's simulate it with these present data on hand. Assuming I am teaching of grade 1. By default, the subject entitled Filipino is not included in the first grading quarter. Hence, in this example, we will create the subject Filipino, load new grading sheet in the second grading period and transfer it to 3rd and 4th. This the procedure as follows. In the tab menu, select and click Sheet and Controls. Then select Load or Edit Records. As you can see while navigating through first grading to 4th grading, the subject Filipino is not included. Thereby, I shall point and click the button Create New Record. Then select Filipino followed by the section name, which is for example, 5 Sampaguita. Next, select second grading. Once ready and all the required fields selected, then click the button below with the label Create Record. Now, if you noticed, the display in the screen has changed to Template for Filipino Subject. This includes all your teacher details and required fields automatically filled with datas. Make sure that the Quick Save button has been clicked to confirm that the new record is saved. Now, let's validate by checking it again through the Load or Edit Record button. By then, the record should be included as shown here in the list. Transferring template is easy by just clicking the Save or Update button where this option is possible. And to show you how it is done, just follow this method while I laid it out on the screen. That's how simple it is to transfer from one grading period to another. Now, let's move to the next demonstration. Usage and function of the small icon toolbars in the loaded subjects or grading templates. Boys and Girls List icon, our toolbar button used for re-update the original class names with new ones. This used when you happen to have a transferring students. Assuming the student is leaving or transferring in the middle of school year. Before anything else, the class list database has to be updated first. So let's click on Settings, then select Class List Database. Select the section affected. In this example, 5 Sampaguita is selected. Edit the names field area. You can insert it anywhere as this system will automatically sort it out in alphabetical order. Once done, verify what row or item number the inserted name is in effect corresponding to the inserted data. Remember that item number. Save first the class list edited to confirm its existence in the database before closing this dialog field box. After which, we go back to Sheet and Controls menu tab. Select and click Load or Edit Records. Let's try the subject Mathematics on the 3rd grading period. So, now the display has changed to the subject you have selected. Point and click the row number, which is the number you remember from the class list database. Click the Insert Row button as shown here. You will notice a new row has been inserted with blank datas. Now, click the boys list to update the list. Save the record again using the Quick Save button to confirm it went to the storage file. That's it, you're done with the updates of names of grading sheet. The other button such as Delete Row is related to what we did a while ago. In this case, delete the affected student. Save the record and go to class list to remove the names affected, then save the class list as well. Other minor toolbars are the Undo and Redo buttons. These are just applicable for data's being typed but does redo or undo a deleted row or inserted row. If this the case, then do not save the template but instead reload them again in the Load or Edit button and repeat what you're planning to do so. The last important toolbar buttons in this page is Import and Export. This has been mentioned in the previous videos. However, let's take a closer look. Export and Import buttons are very useful when passing grading records among colleagues. This will avoid the hassle of encoding the grades manually in the report sheets. Assuming I have a load subject entitled EPP but it's not under my advisory class. Once editing is completed and the submission of report is near, I shall export the subject to its default folder. Then give a copy to the advisor who is doing the report via email, USB drive, or simply passing via social networks like FB attachment message. In turn, assuming I am now the advisor, and as you can see here mathematics is missing in this list. With copy already in place, I shall click the Import button. The display screen will be displayed with the new record data upon importation completed. Hence, I shall click the Quick Save button to confirm it is now stored successfully. Now, we check again the list and presto, the record for mathematics is now included. This will now in effect be part of my grading reports without encoding. Nevertheless, I can still encode manually in the report areas as shown here. This is only done if my colleague is not using the same grading software. That's all, folks. To recapitulate, records editing, creating, transferring and familiarization of all the functions mentioned for usage demonstrations is now finished. Check the help manual included in the application for more detailed explanation. Next topic will be print and reports to be shown in the next video. Thank you. Have a great day.